Hi, good evening. Happy Tuesday. I hope all is well on July 28th, 2020. I'm here with my analysis for those who didn't catch my name. My name is Chantay. So, I always start off with the coronavirus. Coronavirus is hampering our country and the world. We amongst the 188 countries that have it, so here we are. So according to the Johns Hopkins website, that's where I get most of these data numbers from in terms of the coronavirus, because it's public knowledge. You can look on coronavirus.jhu.edu. So I'll just type it in, coronavirus.jhu.edu. See? Simple. Just that simple. So, hey Joseph. So, that is that. So, here we are. Globally, we're sitting at 16,662,467. Yesterday, we was at 16,407,000. So these numbers are, they're telling. Here at the U.S., we account for a fourth of those cases. So we're at 4,347,717. Yesterday we was at 4.2 million and 89, I think. So these numbers here, 717 cases, are very telling. Our fatality sits at 149,209. So we're hitting that 150 mark. And this is only like 4 months and change we're in this thing, and we're already in high numbers. Brazil has almost 2.5 million at 2,483,191, followed by India at almost at 1.5 is 1,483,156. Russia is at 822,060. South Africa is at 459,761. Mexico is at 697. Peru is at 389,717. Chile's at 349,800, and UK is at 302,293. Here in the Latin countries, Colombia is at 257,101. Ecuador is at 82,000. DR is sitting at 64,690. Panama is at 61,942, or is it 442? I wrote those numbers so fast. Guatemala, 46,451. Honduras, 741, excuse me. In Nigeria and some African countries, you have Nigeria at 41,804, Ghana at 34,406, Kenya 18,581, Cameroon 17,179, excuse me. Senegal 9,805, Gambia 326. In the West Indies, you have Haiti, excuse me, at 7,340, Jamaica at 853. Hey, Jamila. Panama, Bahamas, 447. Hey, Abishai. Ghana, 396. Trinidad and Tobago, 153. Barbados, 110. St. Vincent, 52. Belize, 48. St. Lucia, 24. Grenada still remains at 23. Dominica still remains at 18. St. Kitts still at 17. That's on the world stage. Now here in the U.S., and some numbers, the actual states I get from the New York Times COVID map. You can sign on it. It's for free. You can do that. Oh, thanks, Ab. Thank you for watching me grow up. I don't want to tell your age. Um, California is at 474,874. Damn. Florida, 441,969. Yesterday it was at 443. No, excuse me, 433. Today they're at 441. New York, 417,591. Thank you, Ab. Thank you so much. I'll do my best. Because sometimes I feel like I'm not likable. But, hey, thank you so much for the inspiration. Texas, 411,876. I said it like a couple of days ago. I predicted California 3 weeks ago. And I was right last week. I predicted Florida after California. Or like 2 weeks after I predicted California. I was right. And I'm going to be right about Texas tomorrow morning. I don't want to say I'm right, but I'm right. 411 versus 417. And yesterday, Texas was at 402. So they're almost 10,000 cases up per day. And it's not going away. But I'm about to get into that part in a minute. New Jersey, 182,215. Illinois, 175,549. Arizona, 165,966. Georgia, 160,038. And then I quote the Carolinas because the Carolinas may not be as high as these states, but Carolinas is having a major problem with their hospitals and a major problem with containing their coronavirus. So North Carolina is at 160,376, followed by South Carolina is at 84,109. And my aunt's been telling my mom on the phone, well, I think my Aunt Doris, been telling my mom on the phone that it's the COVID outbreak is crazy, especially in Columbia, how like Richland County, where my cousin lives, has the most cases of the state of South Carolina. South Carolina is having a big problem in their hospital, especially in Columbia and West Columbia. So they're having a hard time. The death rate, I say the death rate, do you think the death rate will be, how high do you think their death rate will? Their death rate will be a lot. The southern states and the western states are making our death toll increase. Yeah, Columbia has the most cases. I think they're in the thousands. I can always check, I think, on the Johns Hopkins website. I actually put the website in there. Those who need the website in there, one more time, let me know, and I type it in there. But it's coronavirus.jhu.edu. And on the U.S. map, not the global map, but the U.S. map, they have all the counties. Like, not the top 50 counties, but you can click on the county, and they'll tell you the death rate, too. Because I just learned that, like, about 2 months ago. So I hope I answered your question. Let's see. Now, in terms of the top 5 counties with the most cases, Los Angeles has 176,128. Maricopa, 109,988. Miami-Dade County, that's a new hotspot. 107,315. Cook County, 103,008. And Queens, which was once the epicenter of all of this here in the city. New York City was the epicenter, but now like we're flat. Our cases are flattening. So Queens is 66,932. And overall, we're seeing rising cases of COVID-19. But yesterday, I have mentioned about the Republican plan to, I guess, the new relief, Phase 5, which is called the HEALS Act. And just to reiterate, according to the NPR article, the HEALS Act means a new round of one-time only $1,200 bill, which $1,200 money, excuse me, which a lot of people didn't receive it yet. I know I received mine, but there's people that haven't received theirs yet that get paper money from the federal government instead of getting their tax returns in their they tax refund, excuse me, in their account. Also, it's money to reopen schools. They also going to reduce the unemployment weekly benefits, the additional money for $200. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Abishai. Much prayers to your family. This is hard. We lost, my family and I, we lost a long time neighbor to coronavirus, and she watched my sisters and I grow up. So that really hurt me. And it was the day before my birthday when I found out that happened. So I was very sad. So, and unfortunately we can't be with anybody because we have to socially distance from folks. The new legal protections for business against pandemic lawsuits, that's in one of their thing. And the thing that tripped me out was the whole designing the new FBI building. Like, what does that have to do with the COVID relief? There's people that's losing their homes, food insecurity, lost their job, healthcare, some are uninsured during this pandemic. The testing is not available to everybody. And also, you have to wait 2 weeks to find out if you're tested negative or positive. That's a long time. Like, it's no turnaround for the test. And they keep saying that President Obama left them, unprepared and everything, which that's not true. It's been proven in different reporting from MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, all other news outlets that the previous administration left this administration a pandemic playbook that is 69 pages. President Obama, Joe Biden himself, which is the presumptive nominee, left him you saying that's a lie about what they did? If that's so, it's absolutely true. So that's bull. But I'm about to get into the thing of lies that Donald Trump has said today in his press conference. He was like, why do I watch it? Because you watch it because you have to get the lies. It's important to watch the other side, believe it or not. As much as I hate to watch the other side, I do. So Trump had a press conference today to update the country on COVID-19. He said that Kodak, the film company, they will be doing a whole host of pharmaceutical therapeutics or like a vaccine. And this deal was actually through our governor, Andrew Cuomo, which this guy tried to take credit for Andrew Cuomo's stuff, but Andrew Cuomo probably solicited that deal. Yeah, it has opened up a whole bunch of disparities, race, education, finances, and all of that. But I'm going to because it has everything to do with what you're saying, Ab. He also said that they delivered, 196 million respirators and 185 million surgical masks, which my thing is like, he does not have fully invoked the Defense Production Act. For those who don't know what the Defense Production Act, it's an emergency that the President of the United States can have companies to make the products that's needed. And that's masks, that's gowns, that's gloves, that's ventilators, that's vaccine. Like, all of this could have been done way earlier. He still have not fully invoked the Defense Production Act. He also keep calling this virus the Chinese virus, and it's the coronavirus. I mean, how much are we going to say this? It is not the Chinese virus. It is not the Wuhan virus. It's the coronavirus. It came from a bat. I guess it bit into food. A human ate it. That's my assumption. But I know it came from a bat because most viruses come from animals. Because my dad and I had this conversation. And it went from human to human. One person can transmit it to 2 other people. Virologists, epidemiologists, even medical doctors have came on and explained what the damn coronavirus means. So once again, this resident keeps touting that bullshit. I'm tired of his ass. He also touted about, you know, the jobs are coming back. Retail has been doing very well, which we all know that's bullshit because my mom works for a retail company. My mom works in corporate retail and they're actually not doing that great. And also Ann Taylor and Lane Bryant has filed for bankruptcy. And so has JCPenney. Yeah. Also, he said that the country is coronavirus free. That is true, Ab. Coronavirus, what he said, the country is coronavirus free. That's a lie. Like Jamila said, that's a lie. Because it's not. He said that California, Texas, Florida, and Arizona are heading in the right direction, and said that rapidly they'll be heading down, and claims Florida will mostly be heading down the right direction. And he kept telling the whole law and order thing, and he also said something about he basically said practice social distancing, wear your mask, large gatherings, don't do that, yada, 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 bullcrap. He was asked about a serious amount of questions about his position in hydroxychloroquine. He said something about, what did he say? He said, I wasn't making claims. It was a recommendation from many other people, including doctors. He touted that the drug is nothing wrong with it. He's been quote unquote taking it. We all know it's a lie, because he would have taken it, he would have been really sick. And he claims that is very successful. So let's just dissect into this. How people say deconstruct, but let's dissect into this shit. Trump is a whole ass liar. If you're from New York City, born, raised, or have lived here for 15 years and more, you know that Donald Trump is a bullshit ass liar. He's a con artist. He's a scam artist. He's not the successful businessman that he touts to be. He inherited money from his father. He has messed up the money 4 times. And I remember when Channel 11, which was once really great, I used to watch it a lot. And I used to watch how they used to report on Donald Trump. Donald Trump office was 20 minutes away from where I grew up at in Harlem. I never saw that man, unless it's me, never saw that man come in my neighborhood. No. This whole thing about his time in the White House, and I call it residency because he resides there, has literally messed up this country for years to come. The whole thing with Florida, Texas, and Arizona doing so well, in California, it's a lie. I just read those numbers from the Johns Hopkins website. They never lie. That whole school mostly is about medicine. California is almost at 500,000 cases of COVID-19. Florida is almost at 450. Texas is going to surpass us. Yeah, Abishai, he's a whole scam artist. Took out a page on them, on the Central Park 5. And that's when I was what, 3 years old when that happened. And those boys grew up down the block from where I live in Harlem. That's how I know Donald Trump is a whole ass fraud. He don't pay attention to science. This is the same, keep in mind, this is the same, and I'm going to use this word, and I know it's going to be offensive. This is the same motherfucker that told you to inject bleach in you. To inject bleach in your systems and get rid of COVID. He believes that we're going to have a good economic quarter. No, we're not. Retail is doing bad. Small businesses is closed forever. Some small businesses is lucky they have their food service, because the ones that are a clothing business, they're in trouble. How they're going to pay their rent, I have no idea. Even that rent moratorium, if I'm pronouncing the word right, is up until August here in New York, but other places, it's not. Wow. Yeah. That's insane. And I think I knew the activists around the neighborhood too as a kid too. So I know Joseph. Yep. But Donald Trump is a whole ass fraud. I knew it. I always knew it as a child. I never liked looking at him on TV. He's always been a bullshit artist. I went to high school around where I live at now, which is on the Upper West Side. And his office was, what, on 57th Street? Homeboy never really connected with people in the community. I never saw him with his kids. Never, ever saw that man with his kids. So the fact that his kids appease to him now, because you work for your father. Because he's going to give your ass a job. He was never a parent to his children. He's not even a parent to Barron. And Barron got all types of disabilities. That's how you don't see that little boy outside with his father, because he got disabilities, honey. He goes to boarding school because he got disabilities. I'm just saying. But this whole press conference was just a lie. And the fact that Dr. Birx was probably in there, let him sit there say that shit, gives me pause. I've been having pause about Dr. Birx for quite a while. But the last time she sat there and let him tout that lie, that bullshit, was like, I'm done with her. Dr. Fauci's the only one on that task force that actually pushes back on what the fuck he be saying. And he's jealous of Dr. Fauci because everybody in America trusts Dr. Fauci more than they trust the guy that heads this country. And no, I don't use Mr. President. And black people voted for him. And of course, rappers voted for him. There's rappers that's telling you right now to hold your vote. So Abishai, you're right. Joseph, you're right. Jamila, you're right. To all the other viewers, you're right. We have to vote. We have to vote. I'm going to get into that at the end of my thing. But I just had to say that about Donald Trump because he's a whole ass liar. And a bullshit artist. Get into the politics of everything. So I watched primarily about 50% of today's hearing on Capitol Hill with William Barr. Jerry Nadler's opening statement. I caught most of it orally, but he said, as the chair of the Judiciary Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, in his opening statement, he said, during your time in the Department of Justice, you have aided and abetted the worst failings of this president. That was big. Under your leadership, your department has endangered Americans and violated their constitutional rights by flooding federal law enforcement into the streets of American cities. 2, under your direction, your department has downplayed the effects of systematic racism and abandoned the victims of police brutality, refused to hold abusive police departments accountable for their actions, and expressed open hostility to the Black Lives Matter movement. That's some shit. Yeah, he is a con artist. Absolutely right. He is a con artist. 3, in connection and coordination with the White House, the department has spread disinformation about voter fraud, failed to enforce voter rights laws, and defied court orders. 4, at Trump's request, the Department of Justice had amplified his conspiracy theories and shielded from the responsibility by blatantly misrepresenting the Mueller report and failing to hold foreign actors accountable on the attacks on our elections, undermining both national security and department professional staffs in the process. And I caught the fifth one because it was a lot of writing. You personally interfered in the criminal investigations to protect the president and his allies. That right there, some people said it was ineffective on Twitter. That's just the court of public opinion. But honestly, Jerry Nadler tore in his ass, and that was just only the beginning. There was a lot of the Democrat caucus and the Judiciary Committee tore in his ass. One of them that stuck out to me was Cedric Richmond, and he said, one thing you have in common with two of your predecessors, A.G. Sessions and A.G. Winokur, is that when you all came into here, you brought your top staff, no black people. That, sir, is systematic racism. And that's what exactly John Lewis spent his whole life fighting. And so I will suggest that the actions speak louder than words, and you should really keep the name of the Honorable John Lewis out of the Department of Justice's mouth. That was Reed. Yes, peeps are free. Steve Cohen, the congressman from Tennessee, he's not the big national figure, but he said, when did you first learn the president's plan to walk into the St. John's Church? He said, I learned sometime in the afternoon. He said, it was nothing. It had nothing to do with that. So William Barr started his whole opening statement about invoking the name of John Lewis and everything else, which I'm like, no, he didn't. He just didn't do that. Did he really do that? Barr's out of his fucking mind. David Cicilline, he's another one from Rhode Island, said, do you think it's ever appropriate to tear gas peaceful protesters? Of course, he punted and bullshit on the answer at first, and then he said, yes, it is appropriate to use tear gas when it's indicated to disperse an unlawful assembly. Unfortunately, peaceful protesters are affected by it. That's totalitarianism. That's dictatorship. Hakeem Jeffries asked him when he appeared on the Hugh Hewitt show, Barr, you said Donald Trump did a superb job. Is that superb? Did you say that? Yes. He said mishandling basically the coronavirus was that superb. He was like, he said something that's accurate. He said, that's accurate. And then he said something else about the whole, what he said about Trump takes no responsibility because he said that shit back on March 13th. Yeah, and then he said, does he take responsibility? Is that superb? Yes or no? So Barr said it was accurate. The problem with testing system is a function of President Obama's mishandling of the CDC and his efforts to centralize everything in the CDC. So Jeff Sessions said that's accurate and inaccurate because it was inaccurate. That's a whole fucking lie. This administration has undermined the previous administration's successes and accomplishments because Donald Trump is a whole ass racist. He wants to undermine the black man that set the foundation for his dumbass administration to take lead. He gave him a great ass economy when President Obama inherited a fucked up ass economy from the previous Republican president. Mortgages hit included, 32 million people uninsured. I was one of the 32 million at the time as a kid when I was in college. There was no substantial health care in the works. Kids was going to college more during the Obama administration. And as he tried to put more progressive legislation forth, Republicans have blocked the shit. They blocked his third justice nominee to the Supreme Court. Donald Trump was elected because of misogyny, and he played into white man's fear. And he's doing that shit again. Tore it all down, yep, because President Obama was black. I never took Donald Trump's presidency, residency, whatever you want to call it, seriously. Because, like I said, if you're from New York, you know him as a fraud. And he bamboozled the rest of the country. He didn't bamboozle me. Because I know he was a fucked up ass individual. He was like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're from New York. Yes, it does. That's the same thing. We set the alarm for Bloomberg when he tried to run for office. And we're like, no, 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 no. He's the reason why a lot of black people left New York, because it got too expensive. And redlining in our education department, and the list goes on and on and on. So we all know the fucked up ass shit that Donald Trump does. And I know about William Barr because back in the early 90s, during the Bush administration, he was the Attorney General for Bush 41. And he tried to get mad dirt on Bill Clinton. And that did not work because people were mad at George Bush for raising their fucking taxes. So that's why we had 8 years of Bill Clinton. Despite his sexual rendezvous, Bill Clinton did govern this country. Despite the crime bill, which black people supported, people think it's all just a white man thing with the crime bill. No, let's be real. Black people supported that bill, including black pastors and black congressmen and women who we love and adore. They did too. And I'm going to say this, and I know people going to get mad at me. Bernie Sanders voted for it too. And Bernie Sanders' state is the third highest state to have, is the third highest incarceration state. His state has the third largest incarceration rate. Does he say anything about that? No. I respect Bernie Sanders for what he tries to do and how he's working with Joe Biden. I wish he would have worked with Hillary Clinton like that, the way he's working with Joe Biden. Because him and Joe Biden got a whole advisory team, which I think is lovely. I think it's great. I think they got a diverse minds from different ideologues into the Democrat Party. But why was you not working like that for Hillary Clinton? Despite what she said, it doesn't matter. And it didn't matter, honestly. Let's be real. But, yeah. Barr's operative. Barr has always been a political hack. He's full of shit. They're trying to suppress the vote. They're doing everything to suppress the vote. And they're talking about voter fraud. That's why it's important. It's important. And yes, Joe Biden was not everybody's candidate. But he is a decent man. He is a decent human being. He has gaps. There's a lot of things we can say about Joe Biden, but he's a decent human being. I would love to be at Revolt TV, but I got some issues with Diddy too. With sitting out the vote and still trying to sit out his vote again. Because niggas actually listen to him, which is stupid. That's true. Politicians are out for money. Even the good ones are out for money. They are. But I pray. It's supposed to be a VP pick this Saturday, but they moved it to next week. Biden has to pick. He is picking a woman to be his vice president. I already say who I want as my vice president. Y'all can put in the comments to see who you want as your vice president. I have said it every night who my pick is. I would like to know who your pick is, because we all are not a monolith. I'm not telling you to go for this person because I like this person, but we're all not a monolith. But because I supported this person during the presidential primaries, Kamala Harris, to me, will be the best choice. Especially lately with the whole coronavirus relief bills. One of her bills will actually give all of us, because she had that bill with Bernie Sanders and Ed Murkey, which they co-signed her bill, that will give us all $2,000. You can look it up. There's articles on the bill. I think it's an NPR article and a political, no, NPR. There we go. That will give Americans making under $125,000, $2,000 a month. And if you have children, excuse me, I burped. If you have children, you get an additional $2,000. And that's up until March 2021 and extends 3 months into that. Yeah, it's a good bill. It's mad good. It's mad good. And I'm like, I need that $2,000 a month. Because that $2,000 a month will help people. And besides her bill for that, she also have a bill called Save Your Streets. Hey, Save Your Streets, which will save local corner stores, local small businesses. It's a grant. It's not a loan, with Ayanna Pressley in the House. She also has another bill, I think, with another House person with the COVID health disparities for people of color so they could get the proper care in the hospital. Let's see. She has the Vote Safe Act, which you can actually mail in your vote instead of risking your health to go vote, because there's people that are older that work the polls and some of them have health complications. So that right there makes her, to me, lately, makes her, and even before when she left the race, her name was mentioned for Biden's VP for like 6, 7, almost 8 months. So all these other people like Warren, Abrams, Gretchen Whitmer, Amy Klobuchar, but she dropped off because of the whole George Floyd thing. Like, all their names came up. Like, yeah, that's all good. But like I said, I'm not knocking everybody's vice presidential pick, because I do have an open mind. But my choice always been Kamala Harris. My choice was Kamala Harris for president. Who would have been her vice president? Maybe Pete Buttigieg. That would have been a nice little mixture, but that did not happen. But I can see Kamala Harris being the VP. I can see, people don't know, so but I read the stimulus fine print and also the loan protected tax returns. They just given it to us. But when you file in the next 2 years, you ain't gonna get the whole thing. That's true. That's true, especially like we're in a pandemic. We're in a recession because of the pandemic, because the United States the United States economy, 60% of it is consumer based. It's consumer interaction. Believe it or not. But if we vote, we have to vote. You have to make change to vote. I always voted because voting was my right. I listened to the stories of my mom telling me about my grandparents in the South, how it was hard for them to vote. And they went and vote, and they would tear their ballots up, and they would still go and vote. And my mom and my dad feel like it's our duty to vote. Chantay, it's your duty to vote because you will have issues. And look what we got now. I voted in the last election because Hillary was our senator in New York. And she was pretty a decent senator here. She wasn't a bad senator to me at all. Almost a little bit better than Chuck Schumer. But like I said, I voted for her. I was hurt. I was mad because she was qualified. She did good at the debates. And we wouldn't have been in this fucking bullshit right now. If I was Hillary Clinton, I would be laughing at Donald Trump right now. I would not try to give him advice. I would just sit back and laugh. And Joe Biden needs to sit back and just observe. And don't give him no advice neither. Don't even counsel him. Just continue to get briefed by national security because past presidents and past vice presidents and past Secretary of States and past national security personnel, they all get briefed of what's going on right now. And trust me, half of them are sounding the alarm right now, and they know that Donald Trump is a threat. They all get briefed. Susan Rice get briefed. Not John Brennan, because he took his national security clearance away, which was stupid. Colin Powell gets briefed. A lot of them get briefed. Condoleezza Rice get briefed. Everybody gets briefed. President Obama gets briefed. George Bush gets briefed. Like I said, Joe Biden gets briefed. All Joe Biden got to do, if they do a debate, because it's claims, Meghan McCain claimed yesterday on The View, say Joe Biden doesn't want to do a debate with Donald Trump. I never heard those words come out of his mouth until he says it. Last time I checked, I can see him debating Donald Trump. And all he got to do, he could ignore the name call, and all he got to do is like, look, this is what you have done to this country. This is what you have done to our previous administration, how you branded us. He can go into that. He can say those kind of things. And then when he gets his VP, the VP debate, I look forward to it because Pence, see, we all know what Donald Trump is going to do. Pence, on the other hand, is sneaky. He is sneaky. Like, he dance around questions like he's twerking. He dance around those questions like he's doing the river dance. Like he's twirling around. Like a ballerina. Bends himself into a pretzel. So that's how he is. And then lastly, because I'm going over a little over my minutes, Terry Crews. Motherfucking Terry Crews said this. Conquer our own negativity. He's been saying a lot of things about Black Lives Matter, like Black Lives Be Better. All of this stupid shit. Like 2020 showed us not just only the pandemic and how bad our economy is and now the racial disparities, but how stupid these celebrities are, especially some of these black celebrities. And these black intelligentsia folks. Like, what possessed you to say this fucking shit again? Didn't you learn from Twitter and from the whole internet basically coming after your ass like no tomorrow? Yes, Jamila, I wish these black celebrities will shut the fuck up and just don't say nothing. If I understand people are not for what the protesters are going on, that's fine with you. But if you don't like the protesters, just keep your goddamn mouth shut. Don't say nothing. Terry Crews is saying we need to conquer our own negativity. Why you keep saying stuff? Why you keep saying stuff for people to drag your ass? I don't understand. I just don't understand. Yes, do like Beyonce and Jay-Z, don't say nothing. Even though Beyonce wrote a letter to the AG in Kentucky about Breonna Taylor. She sure did. And we're not going to get to Kanye because Kanye, that's a whole nother segment. Y'all saw my video that Ye lost his fucking mind because he did. And he has bipolar. And I'm glad his wife has acknowledged it because, and honestly, the Kardashians are the problem too. They're not the problem. Support people absolutely, Jamila. Support people quietly. Support them quietly. But I'm going to end this because it is 11:32. I think I've been talking for almost 14 minutes. Let's all stay vigilant. But also relax ourselves. Take a walk. I took a walk today. I take a walk every day. I go get my coffee. I take my ass right back in the house. because, well, nobody around, my friends don't live around me, duh. And my parents live uptown in the Bronx now. And so, like, I'm here by myself. But I'm good to have my own place because other people are not able to social distance by themselves. So if you're going out, be careful. Wear your mask, wear your gloves inside the store. Wear your mask, carry your hand sanitizers, your wipes, anything, even as an alcohol and a spray, 99-cent spray bottle, anything you have to do, protect yourself. And don't touch your face so much. Because I heard, like, when you touch it, that's like a COVID outbreak, I'm assuming. And make sure you disinfect your stuff. I know some disinfecting wipes are hard to find. But if you have like any multi-surfaces stuff, that would be great. You can spray your doorknobs. You can wipe your doorknobs with the alcohol. Some people use bleach. I know my parents are from the old school. They're baby boomers. My father in particularly, because he grew up in New York. So it's always, everything is bleached. Bleach, bleach, bleach. I remember smelling the bleach as a kid and drive me crazy. And it even drove my mother crazy because in the South, they're not used to clean with bleach that much. They used to like just cleaning whatever, but clean with the bleach is good. Use disinfectants to clean your microwave. Anything your family touch, you want to make sure you clean it off before you go to bed. Your doorknobs, of course. If you have a skill to make a mask, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. I'm almost done, T. You can catch it on my Instagram live stream. And also, I have a YouTube page. I post all of this stuff on my YouTube page. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would like to increase it just for my sake. I like to do these videos to inform all the people, my friends, my family, people that follow me, people that I know. And for those who know me and knew me for a long time, I do talk about politics a lot. So you can always check out the page. But I'm going to end this. Good night. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I see you tomorrow. And be blessed. Stay safe. Have a good night.